Hey guys, in this video I'm just going to go over what I'm playing on POE2 launch. I kind of already know exactly what I'm doing, so... Warrior, big two-hander into Titan, who would have guessed? Looks really good, looks fun. I've enjoyed the playstyle a lot when I have had the chance to play, so... I can say for new players, people who aren't sure what they want to play, this is pretty much 100% safe. It's just very consistent. I think, on average, probably from people I've talked to, the people who die the least in Act 1 were people who play the Warrior. He's just a little bit tankier, and he does a lot of damage. A little slower playstyle, a little less forgiving at times with, you know, your window of opportunity to attack, because your attacks are really slow, but they hit really hard when they do hit. Warrior looks really good. I do recommend if you're down to play that playstyle. It's safe. I would say it's a safe bet. So, Warrior into Titan. Looks very generic, very strong in a good way. Stun related stuff, big hard hits, and there's a lot of armor / mitigation, and then extra life stuff. So these are like kind of problem solved where the nodes are. This node is the only one we don't know. Hopefully it's really good because it's behind this weird inventory node, but we'll see what that is. But from what is here, it looks pretty good. We got like Ancestral Empowerment. It's kind of like Fist of War. So every, basically what this means is every second slam it's going to do a lot more damage and a lot more AoE. I think the current numbers were probably 20% more AoE and 20% more damage. It might be higher, might be a little bit less, but somewhere around there probably 20% more damage, 20% more AoE. Earthbreaker, Aftershocks. Aftershocks hit really hard. I don't know the exact interactions of this because Seismic Cry also gives Aftershocks if I remember correctly on heavy stun targets, so does that mean like can this double proc on Earthquake, for example? And if it was a heavy stun target with Seismic Cry, would that mean I get 3 Aftershocks on 1 Earthquake? I honestly don't know. That sounds kind of crazy. And then, you know, things like Hammer of the Gods, which is probably the hardest hitting skill in the game. Benefits from all this stuff, I'm sure, as well. Looks really good. Armor's good. Armor also affects physical spells in this game, unlike PoE1, so you'll be mitigating spell damage, physical spell damage, as well as a lot of big physical hits coming in. So that's really nice. We don't know exactly what Crushing Blows does. Something stun related. I don't know if it means stunning monsters for like it's easier to hit that threshold or what. Surprising strength, extra damage on big heavy stun targets. It's really easy to heavy stun bosses from what I've seen, what I've played. So you get to take advantage of that a lot. And then Mysterious Lineage, 20% more life is really good. Also scales with, makes your life regen percentage quite a bit stronger, and things like life regen are really, from what I've seen, really important. Sustain stats, life leech type stuff like that is really good. So, just a safe bet here, I think, with Titan. That's what I'm going to play. It'll be fun to play. And then there's like, what is it called? Giant's Blood. It lets you dual wield 2 two-handers, kind of like World of Warcraft, Wrath of the Lich King stuff, Titan's Grip or whatever. At first, I thought that, like, if I translate that information in PoE1, it sounds really bad, because dual wielding is like 10% attack speed and that's it. And most skills like alternate weapon swings, but I don't know the exact dual wield rules all the way across the board with PoE2. I don't think anybody does other than the devs. But, for example, you know, those DB sites, if you've looked at them, the tooltips on a lot of skills are incorrect or just really outdated. So, for example, like Earthquake, while dual wielding, this is completely different from PoE1. While dual wielding, both weapons hit with 30% less damage. Which means if you had 2 weapons with the same DPS, you would do 40% more damage, 70%, 70%, 140, 40% more damage. And that's not including other stats that the weapons and like sockets that the weapon might have, like strength and plus melee skill gems, which is really strong. I think it's like the equivalent of PoE1 spell gems, like 10%-ish more damage per melee gem level, if I remember correctly. But it's a lot better than it is in PoE1. So you get a lot of damage from like plus gems. And then I assume this would scale with the Aftershock as well. I don't actually know, but that would be really weird if it didn't. So that Giant's Blood stuff looks kind of disgusting. And you're already in an area where you're going to be getting a lot of strength. There's like some strength wheels, and all your support gems are pretty much strength anyway, a lot of the good ones. So yeah, that Giant's Blood stuff looks pretty nuts, and you could always use a shield. And shields, I assume they are spell block and block. Kind of like evasion is like evade for attacks and spells. The game doesn't care anymore. Like in PoE1, where it's like hits and like spells are kind of like different. Attacks and spells are different. They're all the same in this game, as far as I'm aware. The only thing that's different is like the big AoE like telegraph kind of attacks. Those cannot be like evaded or blocked. So even if you just went the route of using a 2-headed shield, it's going to be pretty good. So Golem's or Giant's Blood looks nuts. That's all. Here's another example of a dual wield skill. Armor Breaker, 40% more attack speed with dual wielding. Completely different rule than this one. I don't know how dual wielding works in this game, but I mean 40% more attack speed while dual wielding is pretty crazy, right? That's multiplicative attack speed. I don't know, like, I would really be keen to see what Hammer of the Gods looks like. I don't know, maybe it doesn't get any benefit from dual wielding, which is totally fair, honestly. That skill looks kind of cracked out, but if it has a dual wielding rule, that's just going to make it even more busted. But yeah, this stuff looks really, really good to me. I really like it. So, Titan, Warrior looks really good. Like the Giant's Blood, dual wield stuff. It's in a spot. It's like right here, bottom left corner of the tree. Looks good. For the Warrior and Titan. Looks good. I really like it. Looks awesome. So that's what I'm going to be playing. So I'm going to hopefully be able to play that for, like, I don't even know, honestly. I'll try to do everything in the game on it. I don't know if that's like 200 hours gameplay, 400 hours, I don't know. I'm down for however long. I've really enjoyed playing the game from what little bit I have had the chance to play. So other things about the Warrior is a lot of stuff is different in POE2 versus POE1. So, like, we get advantage of, like, stuns on this character. So there's, like, stun related stuff. There's a lot of jagged ground type stuff, aftershock type stuff, ignite type stuff, and bleeding type stuff. It's all down there in that tree, and it's all very easy to take advantage of. It's not like POE1 where you just, like, hey, I'm in an ignite build and I just stack ignite, and just all of my everything I'm doing is just focused on ignite. Like, I could make my Hammer of the Gods do, like, that's the skill that ignites, and then my Earthquake is the skill that's, like, applying bleed, and then I have, like, you know, Armor Breaker, which is generating rage for me, and then I'm using Warcries to consume that rage and, like, buff up some other stuff. There's, like, a lot of stuff going on. It looks good. There's a lot of buttons. There's a lot of stuff to problem solve. There's a lot of stuff to just, like, play around with. I don't know the answers to everything, but I can say with a lot of confidence that Warrior/Titan looks really good, really straightforward, very safe to play, and there's a lot of there's a lot of options there still there to, like, play around with. Looks good. It looks fun. I'm gonna play it. If I didn't play this guy, I'd probably play the Mercenary. That looks cool to me also, but this is exactly the kind of stuff I like playing, so that's what I'm playing first. Absolutely. So, GG. Anything else I want to talk about? No, we'll just cut it here. I do have other stuff I can ramble on about, but if you found anything useful or interesting here, and it wasn't just like some verbal diarrhea video to you, that's good, because I'm not trying to make verbal diarrhea, so that's what I'm playing. GG. Thanks for watching.